Overseas tonight, Iran is reportedly planning to use new centrifuges that can enrich uranium more quickly. That could enable it to build an atomic bomb sooner than had been anticipated. The White House called this another provocative step, and we asked David Martin to look into it.
The 3,000 new centrifuges would take up to a year to install, so Iran still has not crossed the threshold to a nuclear weapon. But to David Albright, who closely monitors the Iranian nuclear program, this is an ominous development.
It's Iran signaling that they're going to dramatically increase their capability to produce enriched uranium, and it's the thing that everyone's been fearing.
The new centrifuges, which Iran apparently has been able to produce despite international sanctions, could turn out enriched uranium at 3 to 5 times the rate of its current centrifuges. Once installed and in operation, the centrifuges could give Iran the capability to make a dash for the bomb faster than the U.S. and its allies could react.
1 or 2 weeks they could have enough for a nuclear weapon, and that's going to be hard to both detect and respond to.
The fact that they were trying to break out, wouldn't that still be detectable?
But it may be detectable after they've finished.
Albright estimates Iran could achieve that so-called breakout capability by the middle of 2014. Although Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu has famously drawn a red line that Iran could cross as early as the middle of this year. Israel's red line is based simply on the amount of uranium Iran has enriched.
Iran's intentions remain a mystery, but one thing is certain. They keep getting better at enriching uranium. Scott?
David, thank you very much. Iran will be one of the biggest challenges for Chuck Hagel if he is confirmed as the new Secretary of Defense. Hagel had a rough day today at his Senate confirmation hearing. The former Republican senator's past statements about Iran, Israel, and Iraq drew hostile questions, and here's Wyatt Andrews.
Republicans charged that in his 12 years as a senator, Chuck Hagel was too soft on Iran and not supportive of Israel. Hagel was forced to retract one 2006 comment when he said the Jewish lobby intimidates a lot of people up here, meaning Congress, a statement that drew questions from Senator Lindsey Graham.
So give me an example of where we've been intimidated by the Israeli Jewish lobby to do something dumb regarding the Mideast, Israel, or anywhere else.
Well, I can't give you an example.
Thank you.
Hagel still rejected the notion he was ever anti-Israel.
We have a special relationship with Israel. We always have had. So I've never voted against Israel ever in the 12 years I was in the Senate.
But the most pointed disagreement was over the 2007 troop surge in Iraq. At the time, Hagel called the surge of 30,000 troops the worst U.S. blunder since Vietnam, a statement challenged by Senator John McCain.
Were you correct in your assessment?
Well, I would defer to the judgment of history to sort that out. But
the committee deserves your judgment as to whether you were right or wrong about the surge.
I'll explain why I made those comments.
I want to know if you were right or wrong. That's a direct question. I expect a direct answer.
Hagel explained he opposed the surge because it cost 1,200 lives for a temporary victory. Hagel, a former infantry soldier wounded twice in the Vietnam War, said every war decision made in Washington should consider the soldier first.
I saw the consequences and the suffering and the horror of war. So I did question a surge. I always asked the question, is this going to be worth the sacrifice? Because there will be sacrifice.
But that was one of the few times Hagel rebutted a direct question. He avoided explaining policy positions so often, Republicans complained he hadn't answered basic questions. The administration fired back, Scott, saying Republicans had focused on trivia.
Wyatt